This conference will now be recorded.
Friends online, welcome to our panel session of GoToMeeting, our forum. I would like to request Yasmin Karim Sahiba and Dr. Rubina Sahiba, please go ahead and start your session. Yali Madad.
Our topic today, as you all know, is Shifa, healing in the Quran. Can anyone recite Surah Shifa for us?
Yes, this is Sajid.
Maulali Madad Sajid, lovely to hear you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Ameen. Shukran. Alhamdulillah.
Beautiful, Alhamdulillah. That was really beautifully recited. Thank you, Sajid. So today's topic, we are going to look at Surah Shifa. We will look at the spiritual hospital. We are going to look at Tasmiyah. Tasmiyah is the kalima of Bismillah. And we will look at Kitab. And then Dr. Rubina is going to talk about the Quranic concept of Surah Shifa. A little bit of recap. As human beings, we are the junction, right, of body, soul, intellect. Sajid would know very well. It's the square, circle, and triangle. And so when we come to Shifa, healing, that actually the human body is the means through which the actions actually have an impact on the soul. The prayer of Surah Shifa, the prayer of healing, the prayer of Surah Fatiha, actually through the actions of our human body, heals every microscopic particle in our being. This diagram is the original drawing actually of Allama Sahib. And basically, how is the Holy Quran a spiritual hospital?
Going to share my screen and discuss verses related to Shifa in Quran. Yeah, so everybody can see my slides. So as we heard that concept of Shifa, and like Yasmin has also shared the picture where the full book Quran as all the chapters are also termed as Shifa, and one of the title of Holy Quran is Shifa, which is said in one of the verse that this Holy Quran is a means of healing. So that means that this is a unique medicine where it heals. But then you see that if you recite something, then maybe your disease can not only be controlled just by reading it, or maybe reading and memorizing and reading and memorizing. You get some satisfaction, but not necessarily your physical diseases are healed. And you must have seen that people, when are sick in the hospital, they start reciting few of the verses like Alhamd, which is Surah Shifa, Surah Yasin. Somebody will say that recite Surah Rahman, and there are multiple kind of um, research are also going on where they have started recording of Ayah Rahman or Surah Rahman, and then they have said that because of this recitation, many people started to heal and get better. The time of the hospitalization was decreased. So all those things, researches are going on now because people want to move from this physical medicine to spiritual medicine also. And since we had this book with us, not only the book which is in a paper form, but a speaking book also. So we are the chosen one, or we are very fortunate one that we have the meaning, we have the Imam of the time, and we have the book as well. So we can relate what Imam says to what Shifa and Surah Shifa and all the ayat in the Shifa is saying, and what actually proper healing means. So, so this is a spiritual medicine. This is intellectual medicine. This is ethical medicine. This is ideological medicine, and also there are some guidelines for the physical medicine also, physical disease also. So, if you consider the greatest disease in our personal life, so if you see our body or a personality consisted of a physical form, then we have a spirit, which is a spiritual, which makes spiritual form. We have intellect that makes intellectual form. We have ideology, like our belief system. So it's our belief systems are formed, and we have ethics also, which makes the basis of the life. So these are the five kinds where we see our personality are forming, and in the social context also, in the educational context also, wherever you go, when you interact, when you do something, when you behave in the society, these all are the five forms in your personal world where healing can be connected. And these all forms, not only your physical form, is healing is needed in your physical form, but in all those forms healing is required. So greatest disease will be not the physical disease, because your body comes in the very last. Your first of all your body, then on top of it soul, then intellect, then your ethics is your basis, and your ideology also is very important. So body is just one part, but your greatest disease and your greatest healing is your intellectual diseases, spiritual diseases, ethical diseases, ideological diseases, and definitely physical disease. So the only difference between all of these forms of a person is that physical diseases, you are tangible, the symptoms can be seen, even though you know that many diseases like cancer, you cannot even see, you cannot even have a symptom when it grows so fast, and when you reach to maybe the last stage, then sometimes people have symptoms. So these are all concealed. Similarly, there are many diseases which are concealed, like spiritual disease. You do not see the manifestation, yes, but you have some changes in your mood, your frustrations, your boring. So all those things are symptoms. Similarly, your ideology, if your belief system are not strong, you have always confusion in your belief system, whether whatever I'm believing in Imam or in Smileism, it's true, it's not true. Then also you are not in a comfort zone, and your ideology, your ethics also, if your behaviors are not ethical, then also it is a kind of disease. So um, it is the prime importance that you learn what is the curative measures, what are the preventive measures for not only physical diseases, but also of a spiritual, intellectual, ideological, and ethical disease. So these are the five elements or the five forms where your personality is um, like fully personality is your complete formation of your personality is formed, and you can say that yes, now a complete healing, or you are a complete healed person. So and I can't move this. Yeah. So the disease and healing, as Hazrat Ali has said, that the best medicine is Quran. And in Al-Iqtiqan, there are many chapters related to medicine, many chapters related to Quran. So it is said that the best medicine is Quran. And in Bukhari, it has said that Allah has not sent down any disease, except that He has also sent down His healing. So if there is any disease in this world, there is healing also. So that means that we need to discover where are the healing. Science is um, discovering more and more. Can you hear me? Because I get some disturbance. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So I was talking about that we need to explore, we need to understand where we were taught that where is healing. So healing is in Quran, and healing is in religion, and healing is in Imam's teaching. So we need to search where is the healing, and where is the healing of whole kind of composite healing. And there is a chapter in Daim Islam by Qazi Nauman that there is a fundamental method of curing and healing for every kind of diseases, specifically of the spiritual one. And they are in the Quran. So it is also very important that we should not only focus on the physical diseases, physical problems, but there are also other four forms which we keep on forgetting those forms which makes our personality, and that forms are very very important. And nowadays why people are moving towards all these spiritual mechanism, you see there are a lot of people moving for music, and then there are other things, and then they say that these institutions are the best to give you comfort, to give you heal and give your soul heal. But we also need to see that what Quran actually says about healing. So this is the diagram, just again explaining you in the form of a diagrammatic illustration that number 5, which is the outer circle, which is our body, which is physical, and all the things related to body, whether the disease, medicine, or health is termed as a physical health. And inside that, we have a ethics, because our basis of spirituality is our ethics, our good deeds, our bad deeds, and for example, if we hurt somebody, or if we tell lie, or if we do something unethical things, then in initially we say that you're conscious, zamir. So that zamir will tell you or will click you, okay, um, A, B, C person or A, B things we have done wrong. But once we started doing it as a regular and on a regular basis, then even your zamir or your conscious will not tell you that thing. So it is very important that you have a sound ethics, then your ideology, which is your belief system, that you believe in Allah, you believe in Quran, you believe in Imam of the time, and you believe in what is there in your personal world. So your belief system, and you're satisfied with your belief system, then in within your belief system you go to the spirituality and you find your spiritual health, and finally you go to the sound intellect, where all our prophet, all our dais, all our imam, they have this sound intellect. And in Quran, sound intellect is called as qalbi salim. So that the heart, which is qalb means heart, and salim means sound. So a sound heart, a strong heart, or a heart with like optimum healing. So that is qalbi salim. So just to give you that what are the salient features of health, definitely healthy person feels comfortable, very peaceful, and they do not feel sick, suffer, and not in discomfort. So if there is any disease or there is disturbance in health, then definitely there is pain, there is discomfort physically also. So similarly also there are discomfort and comfort within the ethical boundaries, within the ideological boundaries, spiritual boundaries, and intellectual boundaries. Healthy person always have a great pleasure of happiness from what he does. Like when he go out, he feels good. When he eat, he feels pleasure. So, but a sick person that person doesn't want to go out and wants to always be deprived of and feel displeasure. So if you think that you are spiritually, ethically, or ideologically sick, and then means that your sometimes your mood is not good, you feel sad, you do not feel happy, you do not feel pleasure in talking to people, you do not feel like going to Jamaat Khana or things like that, that means there is something going on within your system. And then healthy person also accomplish your work very diligently, but a sick person cannot work. So if you want to do any service, and if you're healthy, you would like to do services, you would like to do many things. So you can connect these three main salient feature with your internal type of diseases also, relating your physical feature of a physical standard of health. So there are total six main ayat. Like overall, Quran is Shifa, and we have learned from the Yasmin presentation that Surah Fatiha is also means of Shifa, Ayatul Kursi is means of Shifa, Surah Rahman, Surah Yasin, these are the main surahs. But actually, the word Shifa actually means the word shifa, actually it comes from this is the Arabic word, and there are six main ayats where our verses have used shifa, and then we will see all six ayat and how it's related to shifa. So the first ayat is what Yasmin was saying, that Surah 26 ayat 80, wa iza maristu fahuwa yashfin. So in this ayat, this is actually Hazrat Ibrahim's ayat, Hazrat Ibrahim's dua, basically, where Hazrat Ibrahim said that whenever I get sick, when I get sick, it is He who cures me. It is Allah who cures me. Now, is this? We need to ask a question that Ibrahim was a prophet, and does he need cure or a healing for spiritual matters, ideological matters, ethical matters, or intellectual matters, or it is just to teach us. So actually the prophet when comes and when they recite dua, when they recite prayers, it is actually the demonstration they wanted to give to the mankind, so that they also follow their path. So when Hazrat Ibrahim said that whenever I get sick, I reach or I go to spiritual direction. So Hazrat Ibrahim is actually asking us to go for a prayer, because the ultimate healing or ultimate doctor or ultimate spiritual doctor is Allah. And every medicine comes from the treasure of God, because وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عِندَنَا خَزَائِنُهُ وَمَا نُنَزِّلُهُ إِلَّا بِقَدْرٍ مَّعْلُومٍ. That everything comes in this world is from the treasure of God. So if disease comes from there, then its healing comes from there also. That's what we also saw in one of the hadiths as well. And we can recite this prayer, وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينِ, whenever we feel sick. Even we feel sick mentally or psychologically also, and even if we feel sick physically. And people have tried that it gives the strength to recover, and people have recovered fast using this verse and reciting this verse, wa iza maristu fahuwa yashfi. And also we need to understand that everything has a soul, whether they are movable or whether they are not movable. So for example, immovable stones, minerals, they also have souls, and the movable, which are plants, which are animal, and which are human being, they all have souls. So even if you use this verse physically, and reciting, that is creating your voice, actually is creating a particles of soul which are powerful, and it goes from your ears. And then last time we said that the music is very instrumental in healing your inside spiritual diseases or cure for many other things. So similarly, these recitation of small verses which are of Shifa, they are also very powerful when you recite that by understanding its meaning, because this has been used by Hazrat Ibrahim, and Hazrat Ibrahim is saying that he cures me, and whenever I call him. So you also at the same level, you can recite that, and then thinking that soul is hidden in this ayat, and the soul of healing is hidden in this ayat, and that can be the medicine, and it works within the law of nature. And the sickness of moment, sickness of unbeliever, and sickness of prophet. These are not the similar sickness. So if prophet, or if imam, or if dai, or any perfect man recite this, or say recite this these ayat for healing, that doesn't mean that they are sick like unbeliever, or they're sick like those who are not mu'min. So the level of diseases and level of healing also depends on where you stay, and where your spiritual energies and your spiritual um, healing is there. So we'll go to the next ayat then. Okay, this is the next ayat, which is Surah Tawbah, ayat 14, where Allah is saying that make war or do jihad to all those wrongdoers, or all those who are unbelievers, so that Allah may punish them by your hands and humiliate them and help you against them and heal the heart of a faithful folk. So the main crux of this ayat is healing the heart of those who are faithful. So those women who are faithful and do jihad. Now this is the time where Prophet Muhammad were physically doing the jihad, and you know that doing jihad physically at the time of Prophet was different, but now doing jihad is very different. We do not go in the field and then do jihad and kill people and humiliate them. But here, um, actually, ayat is talking about fighting against your nafs, fighting against doing wrong things, fighting against unethical things, fighting against the things which keeps you away from your spiritual progress. So these are all are the things you fight with. So for example, when you go to sleep, and then your nafs is telling you that okay, you have slept late in the night, you have to wake up early in the morning, and you are tired now, so if you skip today's ibadat, it's fine. So it's your self is talking to you. But if you fight with your hand and humiliate yourself, your nerves, that no, this is also very important. If your work is important, if your late night things are important, then this is also very important, because this is one portion. Ibadat is one portion of your ethics, important for your ethics and your ideology and your spiritual healing. So that's where this conversation is actually jihad. And I want to recite one hadith which is in Urdu. Hadith sharif hai, rajatna min al jihad al asgar ila al jihad al akbar. Prophet has said that we are now moving from chota jihad, which is jihad asgar, small jihad, to bigger jihad, bada jihad. हम छोटे जिहाद से बड़े जिहाद की तरफ लौट रहे हैं. When people ask Prophet, जब आन हजरत से पूछा गया कि जिहाद अकबर क्या है, तो फरमाया कि अच्छी तरह से सुन लो, listen very carefully, जिहाद अकबर मुजाहिदाए नफ्स है. So when Prophet says that Jihad-e-Akbar is jihad, or it's a fight against your nafs, fight against ignorance, fight against your unethical act. So these are all the fights. And for that is the reason we do sacrifice. The moment of sacrifice of your time, sacrifice of money, sacrifice of capabilities. Like if I have a very good voice, how I use my voice. If I have a very good art, maybe how I use my art, how I use and how I sacrifice my capabilities free of cost to other people. So that is all sacrifice, and that's where we are termed as Lashkar. You all know that Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah has said that Tum Hamara Lashkar ho. So Lashkar are related to Jang. So Jang and Lashkar and Jihad, these all are terms related to jihad, related to fight. Not the physical fight, but this is the fight of nafs. This is the fight of this is the sacrificing yourself, and counting in the Imam's Lashkar. So Imam is the leader of Ismaili Lashkar, and we are the Lashkar who uh, um, fight against ignorance, who want to fight against nafs, who want to go and sacrifice again a quality of life of people. So these are all, we all are Lashkar moving towards the better society, not only in terms of physical better society, not only in terms of money, but also in terms of ethics and also in terms of spiritual development. I like this share that Tayari Harbe ilmi means ilmi jihad, ki na bhulo lashkare kayam, jahan mein tadame आखिर jihad ilm hai dayam. Like if there is always continuously we are under the fighting situation. It's not like there is ghazwas or there is one fight which is against two countries and then one is Fateh and one is like they are martyr, but this is actually always continuous jihad for improvement and betterment of yourself, your society, and the whole humanities. The third ayat in Quran that talks about healing is Surah 10, which is Surah Yunus, ayat 57, and it says that, O mankind, there has come to you an exhortation, that is the book from your Lord, and a healing, which is medicine from those diseases of bad deeds, and in the breast, and guidance and mercy for the believers. So this ayat actually talks that Allah has first giving you exhortation, which is nasiyat. Then when you understand those nasiha, understand those do's and don'ts, which we develop our a kind of mold earlier in our life, like when a child was small, we give them the teaching of what is wrong, what is right, what is good, what is not good. So we teach all those and we mold them into kind of nasihat. And then after that nasihat, the second thing is guidance of healing. So then Allah gives you the healing, gives you the medicine, because now you have obey, you are farman bardar. So because of obeying those farman, you automatically get internal guidance. And then when you get that guidance, you get the mercy, you get the rahmat. We ask for a rahmat to Imam Zaman when we recite salawat, that we say that Imam gives us rahmat, Imam gives us mercy. So mercy will not come automatically. You have to move. And what is the movement? Is you have to obey the Farman Bardari, and uh, because of that Farman Bardari, as a result of that Farman Bardari, the healing will come. And then when your heart is healed, then mercy will, rahmat will come in the healed heart. And then from that, you gradually progress and you enter into the circle of Qalbi Salim, which says that for the sound heart, in only you get the proximity of God, proximity of Imam, proximity of Allah when you have sound heart. So your sound heart is dependent on mercy, dependent on guidance, and dependent on obeying of the nasiyat, on farman bardari. Then the next ayat is this one is very interesting ayat, which is Surah Nahl, and Nahl means bee, and this is about honey. So it Allah is saying to bee, honeybee, that you eat from every kind of fruit and follow the Milky Way of your Lord. Means you go from one fruit to another fruit, you go from one flower to another flower, and there are ways which only bees knows about that, from where to where to where to where go, and there are issues from its belly, and then you collect all those juice and turn into it into a nectar, which is honey, and there is a cure for the people in that nectar, or cure for the people in that honey. And it says that almost all the diseases can be cured with honey, and you all know how powerful honey is. People use honey for a lot of problems. For all inflammatory diseases, we say that yes, honey is useful. All skin diseases, people use honey. People use honey for the pain. People use honey for a lot of other things. So actually honey has a physical, also external medicinal properties also, but there is internal honey, which is a spiritual, intellectual honey, that is the Imam of the times, Farman. So Imam's guidance is actually the spiritual and intellectual honey, and it has also healing property. So bee was commanded to form a nectar, which is honey, and it is a divine, sorry, there's a spelling mistake, it's a divine law that elements of vegetables and fruits that turns into a nectar and that turns into honey. So similarly, there are souls which are vegetative souls, there are good souls, and there are souls of Quran. They all turned into honey, which is a spiritual honey. And that spiritual honey has a healing property that heals our souls and heals our intellect. And that's why Maula Ali, actually one of the title is Amirun Nahal, or Yasubul Mominin, which means the leader of bee. So there is very interesting quotation here from the book of healing, that Yasubul Mominin, रिवायत है कि आन हजरत से मौला अली ने फरमाया, अंत यासुबुल मोमिनीन, तुम मोमिनीन के बादशाह हो. Prophet has said that Ali, you are the leader of मोमिनीन. You are the leader of मोमिनीन, यासुबुल मोमिनीन, और अमीरुन नहल. अमीरुन नहल के मानी है शहद की मक्खियों का बादशाह या मलिका. बस इस मिसाल के मुताबिक इमाम यासूब है और रूहानी इल्म और हिकमत से वाबस्ता. So what Imam is creating, what is Imam's nectar, what is Imam's honey is रूहानी ilm and hikmat. Rohani is spiritual wisdom. So that spiritual wisdom, spiritual and intellectual wisdom actually is the honey of the Imam, and that Imams produces. But then B, you know, the Amirul Nahal, who is the Malika, the queen of the bee, that queen, she doesn't work. She just gives people, gives other bee to do a lot of things. So similarly, Imam is the leader, but वो तमाम मोमिनीन और मोमिनात जिनकी रूहें इस शहद की मक्खियां से वाबस्ता, यानी वो रूहानी इल्म से वाबस्ता हैं, वो इस शहद की मक्खियां हैं. So all those moments who are attached or who relates themselves, who try to take and work towards this ruhani ilm or hikmat, this spiritual wisdom or healing, then all those mominines are bees. बस कितनी बड़ी खुशनसीबी है उन लोगों की जो इल्मी खिदमत की वजह से रूहानियत में इमाम के साथ हैं. So if you do ilmi khidmat, if you sacrifice your capabilities, and if you do something for people betterment for the society, then that means you are a bee who is related to internal honey and who is related to Yasubul Mominin, who is Mola Ali and who is the Imam of the time. So when Imam is Yasubul Mominin or Imam is Amirul Nahal or the queen or the leader of the bee, then we all can consider ourselves a bee if we move towards taking this wisdom or ruhani ilm or hikmat se, if we connect ourselves. This is the last ayat. No, there are one more. So the last, this is the ayat which is Surah 17, ayat 82. It says that, and we reveal in the Quran that which is entirely a healing and a mercy for the believers, but for the wrongdoers is increasing nothing but loss. So here, actually, the main title which we talked about and which Yasmin also talked about, that Quran is actually Shifa. And Quran is spiritual hospital. We can say that the Imam of the time is our spiritual doctor, and Imam gives us the healing practices through Farman, through blessing, through guidance. So this all we have discussed earlier, but since this is the Shifa ayat, so I have kept it here as a fifth one. And then the last is Fusilat, which is ayat 41, Surah 41 and ayat 44, where it says, for those who have faith, it is a guidance and healing. So guidance and healing for only those who are faithful. And those who are faithless, there is a deafness in their ears and it is lost to their sight. That means that they are very far from the guidance. So it is not the deafness and the loss of sight actually physical, but they are very far from ideological, spiritual, and intellectual health. That means they are suffering from ideological, spiritual, and intellectual health. For example, sun is a source of light for the eye, and for the people who are of a proper sight, but it could be a torture for the people who have the surgery or there is some problem or blurry eyed person, so that is sun is same. Similarly, Imam's physical presence is a source of happiness for Momin and a mercy for Momin, but maybe somebody sees him and may be jealous of Imam and may be a source of torture for them also. So that means that same Imam's personality, one person is happy and the one who is not in that faith, they are in not a happy situation or not a comfortable situation. The another example is if you have a delicious food which is knowledge and wisdom, which can be source of a healthy person, uh, but for the sick, um, a lot of food which are very delicious, they do not like it because internally you are sick and you don't feel like eating all those delicious food. So similarly, sometimes when you do ibadat, sometimes Gyanan is going on or sometimes lecture is going on, you don't feel like listening to that because sometimes you think that maybe your heart is not ready to listen to that or you feel internally sick. So you have to check your condition. And so this is my last slide. So there is Quran provide physical healing to the physical problem also. Like Quran says that don't do unlawful things, and even in the lawful eating, keep moderation. Overeating also is affecting our health adversely. Peer also said that भारी पेट के साथ नहीं खाना because निंद्रा आवशे and बहुत पछताओ Pachtasho. So I don't remember that Ginan, but there is a Ginan where Pir has said that don't eat too much so that you were unable to get up early in the morning, and then you will regret that. So don't, and Quran says that don't eat like cattle. Those eyes and ears are given to you, physical and spiritual also, from where you can listen to yourself and then see that how much we have healed. So in the end, we have a lot of institution, those who talks about health, well-being, spirituality, meditation, prayers. So these are all things which people are doing it, but we have to see that what Quran actually gives us, and these all 6 ayat gives us a lot of guidance to move towards not only physical health, but also towards our ethics, ideology, spiritually and intellectually. So with that, this is just all Insan and Kainat, a diagram from Book of Healing. So thank you. And I have taken a lot of material from Book of Healing from Allama Nasiruddin Nasiruddin. So thank you very much. I don't know whether I've taken too much time. Yeah, 7 minutes more. So I think I've finished on time. Any question? I'm happy. I and Yasmin happy to take that question.
Thank you so much, Dr. Barolia, Yasmin Karim Saiba. Wonderful session and wonderful references and verses you have shared. I'm sure it needs much more reflection to understand the message you are giving us. Let me look at the questions. I just see praises. It was a beautiful session. Do we have any friends who have any question? So I don't see any question. Let me ask one question. Dr. Barulia Sahiba, you did share this beautiful verse that when I'm sick, he heals, he cures me. I wonder if you can tell us about this Quranic verse a little bit more. And can we say this as a zikr? Because a lot of the times we do go through physical illnesses. Does it
Yes.
help?
Yeah, so that's I say that yes, it's definitely help, and people have experienced that it helped. And because when Hazrat Ibrahim was saying, he was not saying that this dua because of he is spiritually, ethically, or ideologically ill. Definitely, he is at the level of prophet, as a complete healed person. But he said it for the physical sickness, and also teaches us to we can recite this for the physical sickness as well, because there is a power of healing in that ayat, and that power can go from our ears and then enter into the body, because everything has soul. That's how I explained that everything has soul. So your voice also has a soul, and it goes into your body and it gives healing. And people have experienced. So we recite this. Probably I recited this. This is experience to ayat I recited when I got some skin problem, and I recited this ayat a lot of time, and that helped me heal. Actually, I have to take some medication also, but that helped me.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. So what you're saying, in other words, that it heals our physical issues as well as it strengthens us to fight our carnal soul because we are ill with that too, right?
Yes, yes.
Subhanallah. Dr. Saiba, I do not see any questions. I just see praises for you. And I see here Inara is saying, I did not quite hear properly the knowledge shared on why we say Ya Ali Madad instead of Ya Allah Madad. If it could be please said again, I would really appreciate it.
Sure. Ya Ali Madad, because that is the command of Allah, that if you want to come to me, then you obey the Prophet and obey the Prophet through the Imam of the time. Because Nur Maulana Shah Kamal Hussaini Hazra Imam, being the mother of God, Hazra present living today, it is he who actually has his hand upon us. So all the blessings, all the guidance, all the purifications are actually done by Nur Maulana Shah Kamal Hussaini Hazra Imam. And it is because of that we say Ya Ali Madad, not Ya Allah Madad. Look, initially we used to say God is omnipresent, omnipotent, right? Today we are saying soul is omnipresent, right? So these are layers and levels of understanding. But very briefly, it's because Hazrat Imam's hand is upon us, and Hazrat Imam is purifying us today, right? Whether it's in the form of dasan, in the form of guidance, obedience, um, all multiple layers. Again, the blessings are not limited physically. They go all the way physical, spiritual, intellectual, all the way to Gohariakal, and then you complete the cycle of Ibda and recreation, rebirth. So as Dr. Rubina had mentioned, وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا إِنَّنَا خَزَائِنُهُ وَمَا نُنَزِّلُ إِلَّا بِقَدْرٍ مَعْلُومٍ. So the more yearning we have, the more desire we have to understand these realities, the more profound and beautiful it becomes. I hope I answered your question. Ali Madad book, which I would request you to read.
And the simple answer can also be like we always have means. So it also like here also people have said that Prophet Muhammad was means for everything, and for Allah's bayat, people do Prophet's bayat. So now where should we go for bayat and where we should go for asking help? So it is giving us connection and a direct kind of connection and relatedness. God seems to be very far. So Ya Ali Madad is a means of getting Madad, and we can relate, we can connect. That is a very powerful dua. That's also one of the reason we say Ya Ali Madad as a greeting and as a greeting dua. Yeah, I agree. And also, Day of Judgment is Imam of the time. So our all judgmental things will be included in Imam of the time. So our resurrection will take place in Imam of the time. Remember when we were discussing Nafse Wahida, one of our soul which is connected to Imam is always there in the Imam. That's the reason we are calling his Nafse Wahida. His title, Imam's title is Nafse Wahida, single soul. There is one a portion which is connected to ourself, this body. So it's a kind of rays. So we are always connected. If Imam is the day of judgment, then definitely it's in a smaller portion. We all are going through the day of judgment daily, but in collectively, we all will be in Imam of the time. We resurrect ourselves in the Imam of the time.
SubhanAllah, SubhanAllah. Beautiful answer. And you know what? Actually, you covered the answer in different levels too. So I hope the friend who's asking did get some understanding. And of course, this is a continuous learning. You just can't get it like that. The way Yasmin started saying it is yes and no. So it takes time to understand this answer at a basic level and then as well as continue to grow further. I did see one more question, which actually Dr. Rubina has answered already, but the friend has asked, so let me just say it. What do we do for bad hearing and bad eyesight issue?
Quran talks about hearing and eyesight is mainly related to your spiritual, intellectual, ideological problem, that there is everything for you, but you do not listen to. So that means your hearing is you are deaf, and then you are blind. So the blind and the deaf that relates to that's mentioned in the Quran is related to your internal diseases, not the external one, because somebody who is blind by birth or deaf by birth, how can we blame that person? So, but for hearing and for deafness, physical hearing and physical blindness, there are few things. Um, we have to go and to the doctor physically, but this is meditation is one component, recitation of all prayers that can really help. So that can strengthen your physical illnesses also, and protecting from all those things which preventing ourselves from making us blind or making us deaf. That is also very important, because Quran says that do the protection. So your preventive measures are also very important. But when Quran refers to blind and deaf, that is mainly spiritual, ideological, intellectual, and ethical, and not the physical. But physical also, overall, Quran gives some direction, some guidelines how to spend our way of life. So we have to definitely go and check with your ophthalmologist and audiometry done, and then see how we can treat and heal ourselves.
Subhanallah, subhanallah, beautiful answer. I see Zinat being unmute. Zinat, do you have a question?
Yeah, what about psychosis and mental issues? There's a lot of that going on at the moment, and those are very, very difficult to cure, and they just go on and on and on and take all kinds of different forms. And sometimes the medical cure has so many side effects that people don't even follow what is told to them.
This is very
Can you?
important. So that's this is very important. So your physical and psychological, if I think we have discussed that in last time when we were discussing music, that if there is no disease in your brain, because your brain and psychological things are connected. So if there is no like a kind of chemical or a material problem in the brain, then you can do meditation, ibadat, ilm, dua, music. All those means are to heal yourself. And that's how we did a research that for those who feel that pain is less, hospitalization is less, that is all related to what we do, and reduces our psychological problem. Once if it is strong, then maybe these things will not really help, but before it goes to a level of psychosis, we need to use all these means.
Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you so much, Dr. Saiba. We will take your leave now. And if you have any more questions, please do share with us so we can convey it to the speakers. And I would like to read this beautiful praise for both of you. And the friend says, "Oh my God, you're such a beautiful speakers and presenters, and the way you answered it is so amazing." So thank you so much in friends, words. Alhamdulillah, you did an amazing job, and we'll continue to hear from you tomorrow. So until tomorrow, we'll see you again. Thank you. Yali Madad.